allegations. Let's see what
the question is, how much money do you?
Let's see what these traitors to America have to say. Because let's be real, these guys are fucking traitors to Christianity. They're traitors to America because they claim to be America only, but instead of working for an American company or working for themselves, they choose to work for a pro-Israeli propaganda company and an anti-American company. Now let's see what these assholes have to say. We'll do the 30-second rule.
Dorks take from AIPAC.
How much do you get? Everyone is getting paid off by everybody. I'm not getting paid off by anybody.
No,
no one has ever offered.
They
I'm not important enough to pay off.
They talk about AIPAC as if like sort of the top of the heap is getting money from the Jews. That's like the top of the heap, right? And I think, all right, well, maybe I can't. Maybe I'm not going to get that direct AIPAC payment. I know it's the Daily Wire. They call it the Israel.
Bitch, you get paid from the Daily Wire. You may not be getting paid from AIPAC like the Congress people, but you're getting paid by Israel to spread Israeli propaganda, you traitors. And until you leave the Daily Wire, you guys are funding this propaganda. You guys are supporting the propaganda. You're supporting anti-American rhetoric. You guys are traitors until you leave the Daily Wire. Just like Torrance said, Matt Walsh, you're fucking lying. I don't get paid off. Ben Shapiro signs your paychecks. He signs your paychecks. You do get paid off by Israel. You do get paid off by the Israeli Wire. Ben Shapiro signs your paychecks and you have a show on the Daily Wire. Why the fuck are you coming on lying, you sack of shit? Any thoughts, gentlemen?
He's trash.
Where do we start? I mean, so much is being laid down by Triton, rightfully. But let's face facts, guys. Let's start off with Candace, right? Candace had a presence before she was at the Daily Wire. Of course, she was going to have a presence after. To a lesser extent, you could say the same of Brett Cooper. Now, Candace only joined the Daily Wire to bring down Steven Crowder, and she partially succeeded at that. But as soon as that objective was done, she ceased to be useful and was kicked out because she was apparently more trouble than she was worth. With Brett Cooper, it was a bit different. Brett Cooper wanted to work with people outside of the Daily Wire, but because of how the Daily Wire constructs their contracts, obviously, you can only work with certain people who they know or they would like you to work with. So that's
you basically have to text Ben Shapiro and ask him, hey, can I go on the show? Hey, can I work with this person? That's basically what you have to do when you work at the Daily Wire is you have to ask Ben Shapiro for permission over everything. You basically have to ask permission. Daily Wire, they literally own you. They own you like a bitch.
Well, they own your brand,
They own your brand. They own your brand. They own your channel. They own who you collaborate with. They own your thoughts. They own everything about you.
And that's why when Candace left the Daily Wire, everything she did as part of the Daily Wire was not owned by her. That's how the Daily Wire literally created their own Candace in a lab.
You're talking about my girlfriend there.
Oh damn! You use you mix with the chocolate, you traitor, you. But in all seriousness, Triton, and the rest of you guys, of course, Candace and Brett were able to build their own brand after leaving the Daily Wire. Michael and Matt can't. Do you know why?
Hold on. Because I know what you're probably about to say, but Matt Walsh can. I don't know about Michael Knowles because he's not really as relevant. Matt Walsh can. He has the clout. He has the connections. He actually can, and that's why I'm pressuring him with Nick Fuentes to leave the Daily Wire because Matt Walsh does have the clout. He has the famous documentaries. He has the clout to pull a Candace.
That aren't his.
He won't.
He doesn't own any of the documentaries he's made as part of the Daily Wire. When was the last time? When did Matt Walsh join the Daily Wire?
I can look that up real quick. When did Matt Walsh join?
When was the last time he was independent?
He's been Ben Shapiro's butt fuck sex slave since 2017. He began
nearly 10 years.
Literally, nearly 10 years. But that's the thing. He had a presence. But that's the thing, because what this says is he had a presence before the Daily Wire. He literally sold his fucking soul to stay relevant. And now
his
he has
presence-
to basically be humiliated. And honestly, he deserves it, because guess what? He's a fucking traitor. He literally gave his whole brand up to Ben Shapiro, and now for the rest of his life, until he gets balls and tries to branch out, because it's going to be harder for him because he did sell all of his eggs. But like, I feel like he could, at least with the clout, like make his own YouTube channel and separate from all that and gain some form of clout where he can still have a living. That's just my opinion, because Matt Walsh still has the relevancy on Twitter. He still has a lot of people that do like him for him, even though like he is Ben Shapiro's bitch, because they like the whole America only thing. And that's a big difference between Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh, is the America only thing. People fall for the America only thing. But let's be real. If Matt Walsh was really America first, truly, he would have been left the Daily Wire by now. And he wouldn't be on with this motherfucker crying about people are saying we're paid off. That's not true. Everyone's being accused of. Yeah, because you guys are being paid off. You literally work for Ben Shapiro.
He's too comfortable where he is, right?
He is too comfortable, because guess what? He doesn't have to have his own takes. Ben Shapiro writes all of his takes for him, including
the anti-Israeli ones.
Yes, because you want to know why Matt Walsh is even though he's anti-Israel, quote unquote, when he has anti-Israel, you want to know why he won't go full in like Tucker Carlson and Candace? Because Ben Shapiro's like, you know what? If you want to criticize Israel, you have to just say this and that. You can't say they kill kids in Gaza. You can't say that they pay off politicians. You just have to be critical about the war, and that's it. Like, Ben Shapiro's literally counseling this motherfucker and Michael Knowles behind the scenes of what limit they could be anti-Israel. Because they're not allowed to be anti-Israel to the extent, they're only allowed to be anti-Israel as much as Ben Shapiro lets them be.
When did Michael Knowles join the Daily Wire?
Let me look that up too, because I have this up. Okay, when did Michael Knowles join the Daily Wire? He joined the Daily Wire. He joined the Daily Wire in 2016, a year earlier than that. Yeah, 10 years.
10 years. 9 years, 10 years. The internet, content creation, live streaming. A landscape has completely changed in a decade, folks. Of course, these creators, these commentators could not survive on their own. That's why they haven't left. It's not like Candace, who came in, in the early 2020s and then left after a few years. It's not even the case with Brett, in which she was supposed to be homegrown talent, but left to chart her own course because she wanted to work with people she enjoyed the content of. I know a personal example because she collaborated with a creator who I collaborated with when I wasn't a cartoon, Kada. And that was crazy. She wanted to do that as the controversy was going on, but she couldn't because the Daily Wire blocked it. Why do you want to collaborate with this no-name who got viral on Twitter or X for covering Assassin's Creed Shadows? What do you want to do that for?
Yeah, they basically restrict your freedoms, and these cucks are going to basically trade in their freedoms because, like you said, without Ben Shapiro, these people are nothing. In fact, they only have they literally get the money from Ben Shapiro and Israel. They literally do. And it's just like these people, they can't sit there and say they're America only when they literally sold all their baskets to an anti-American like Ben Shapiro, and they can't get out of it. And if they try to get out of it, Ben Shapiro will ruin their fucking life. He'll take away their house. He'll take away the bills. He'll take away the food that your children get. Because guess what? The only reason your children eat food is because of Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro basically gave y'all everything, and you have to, because that's the thing. These guys, even though they will be quote unquote anti-Israel, they have never criticized Ben Shapiro once, because they know if they do, that is suicide for them. That is suicide, and they will be fucked. They will be fucked.
I got a bit of interesting news, folks. Potentially breaking news folks. And no, this hasn't got anything to do with Ben Shapiro. I wish I could say, breaking news, Ben Shapiro has died through a Palestinian airstrike, but that ain't ever going to happen. Breaking news, one of our main network shows, one of our main network collaborators, Cancel This Podcast, has officially debuted on YouTube, something I never thought would happen, folks. So I don't know if I can do this, Triton, but I just wanted to put the link in the chat to give people
Oh, yeah, you
an
can.
example.
Yeah, you can.
Because
Go ahead.
we're all in this together, and I can't believe Cancel This Podcast is doing this. Jason, John over at YouTube, because I have a bit of a confession to make in regards to the network. We make videos from shows, right? We've made quite a few videos from Cancel This Podcast Rumble shows, and we have gotten struck on more than one occasion. So I'm like, damn, Jason, John, you're being a bit courageous, aren't you? But I think it's living proof, guys, that we can use this platform as a pipeline to bring people over to alternatives. Because whether you like it or not, YouTube especially is the place to be to appeal to as many people as possible. And you can have this finely tuned balance between moderate and loyal, the moderate masses and the loyal folks. And that's how the pipeline becomes a thing. We don't want to be Matt Walsh or Michael Knowles, folks, but we've got to be a bit pragmatic in bringing new people in and pipelining them to other platforms.
Yeah.
Even if the operation only lasts a year or two and we get blown up, if we can get a few thousand, a few hundred, or a few thousand extra supporters over, then that's fantastic, especially if they're willing to donate a buck or two.
And I agree. And that's the thing. Difference between the network and Daily Wire is the network, as someone that's a member of the network, you guys have never, ever DM'd me and said, hey, you guys have a take I don't like, or you're working with this person on your regular show that I don't like. You guys never done that. But if I was on the Daily Wire, they would be constantly just texting me, why do you have this take? Why did you say this? Why did you say that? How dare you say this? How dare you work with that person? Oh, my God, you work with Ethan Ralph, an anti-Zionist? How dare you? Oh, you retweeted Nick Fuentes? Oh, we got to fire you. Sorry, we got to, you guys don't do that. And that's why I am going to ride and die with the network, because the network, we are together, but we have freedom. We have individual freedom working together. And that's what I respect about the network is we can have my own takes. We can all have our own takes and still get along. And you guys won't Ben Shapiro me, basically. By the way, is my audio coming in clear?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, cool.
Yep. I think pragmatism is the way to go, folks, especially where things are likely to head in the late 2020s and early 2030s. Because I think our side, if to be as generalistic as possible, our side is going to get butt fucked from every angle, right? We like in the prison shower room and we're just clinging on to the soap for dear life. So one way to survive those conditions, because we're going to go hard, as a society, we're going to go hard left into the late 2020s and early 2030s. It's unavoidable at this stage. So I think we should be pragmatic in our approach and build a bridge, especially when it comes to the issue with the Israeli issue, because a lot of left-wing people, you can hate left-wing people, and I don't blame you for hating left-wing people, but on the Israeli issue, on the issue of the cabal that's infesting the United States, we're agreed on that. We can build a bridge on that. And if you can build a bridge on that issue, which affects a lot of other issues, folks, whether it's the economy or immigration, we can build a bridge and we can agree to a format together and bring down this uniparty by actually building bridges between the elements of the far left and elements of the so-called far right. I think that's the way to go about it, because the uniparty is the center ground of politics. It is a disease. Liberalism, not just as a left-wing ideology, but liberalism as a centrist ideology, is a disease. And I think we can all agree that it needs to be wiped away. starting with the Daily Wire. I think the Daily Wire practically is a centrist organization, because I'm sure Democrats support it, as well as these fake Republicans, the Uniparty.
Yeah, Daily
Based-
Wire literally is a show for the Uni Party, and that's why
Yeah.
I've covered the Daily Wire so much sometimes. Like, whenever stuff like this happens, I shit on them because that's the thing. They are the Uniparty propaganda show. They are no better than Fox News and CNN. They spread so many establishment. Ben Shapiro was literally saying that the Epstein files did not even exist, and that nobody from either side was complicit. That's how you know that the Daily Wire supports the Uniparty. They can pretend to hate Democrats all they want, but in reality, they support the Uniparty. They support the establishment, because why would Ben Shapiro randomly come out and say, "Hey guys, nobody on either side is complicit on the Epstein files"? It's because, guess what? Daily Wire is propaganda. Now, unless anyone else has any more takes, we can play the next 30 seconds and watch these fucking douchebags lie.
Israeli Wire. But there's like
Is that
one.
I've never heard that.
I know. I've
Do
heard
people say that?
the Israeli Wire. But the problem is that there's like one Jew who works at the whole company, and the rest are Catholics and some Protestants who become Catholics.
I've never. So you're saying there's criticisms of the.
So occasionally people suggest.
I've never heard this. I don't know
And
where you.
no, it's weird.
Matt Walsh, shut the fuck up. Everyone has been telling you this for the last few years to leave the Daily Wire. They've literally been, and I know you pay attention to Nick Fuentes. In fact, you had a little back and forth with Nick Fuentes over this shit. So shut the fuck up and quit lying.
Weird. But I've never gotten any of the. So I'm going to set my sights lower. If I can't get the good Israeli AIPAC money, what about Yemeni money? How hard is it to get Yemeni? Somalian money? Who's asking for Somalian money? That's a good opportunity.
You got to open a daycare center in
in
Minneapolis for that.
Good, yes.
All right, so that's basically the end of these fucking retards. But you want to know? You notice how they just, instead of just taking accountability or addressing the issue, they're like, "Oh no, we could just be taking Somalian money. We could just be taking Muslim money." Like, they always like to blame the Muslims, and that's the thing. I'm not Islam, as y'all know. I am Christian, and I disagree with Islam on certain things. But however, whenever I see people like do this shit, I have to speak out, because guess what? They're just blaming the Somalians, blaming the Yemenis, blaming the Muslim countries, saying, "Oh, we could just be taking their money. Their money's nicer," and making jokes about it. It's like, you guys work for Daily Wire. You guys do take money from Israel. You guys literally work for Daily Wire. In fact, they look, "Oh, only one Jew works for Daily Wire." Bro, the Jew is literally the boss. And there is like several Jewish journalists that work within the Daily Wire too. You can't lie and say, "Oh, it's mainly Catholic." No. In fact, your boss, the founder of Daily Wire, comes out and says that the divinity of Christ never happened, that Christ is burning in hell. Yes, Ben Shapiro believes that. Ben Shapiro believes.
Yeah, that's worse than that. Boiling in liquid shit.
Yeah, he said that publicly, and these guys have never challenged him on it. They never even made a statement disavowing it, because they know if they do, they would get fired. You guys do not work for Christ. You guys are not Catholic. You guys are fake Catholics. You guys are fake Christians. You guys are Jews in disguise, because you work for a Jew who talks about Christ in such heinous ways. So how dare you say you're Christian? How dare you even lie and say that the Daily Wire is full of Catholics when you know that ain't the fucking case? You know that's not true. You know that the Daily Wire is ran by Israel and funded by Israel to spread pro-Israeli propaganda. And you guys been a part of it. You guys will continue to be a part of it. And you guys will never leave, because you guys are fucking beta cuck bitches. And you guys are pathetic excuses of men. And I hope if anyone sees them in public, I don't condone harassment, I don't condone doxing, but if you guys see these people in public, just a simple question. No violence, no punching, none of that. Just a simple question. Why do you still work at the Daily Wire? They need to be asked this everywhere they go. They need to be asked this. Why do you work for the Daily Wire? Why won't you leave the Daily Wire? How are you a Catholic still working for the Daily Wire? These are valid questions that
Yeah, why
deserve
haven't they been
valid.
fired? Most of the
Why
company has been fired. Why haven't they been fired?
Yeah, that's another thing. Why is everyone else being laid off, but not these two morons? Like these two morons would benefit publicly and have a lot of public support if Ben Shapiro just let them go, and then they
Yeah.
just. But that's the thing. Ben Shapiro know the reason why they haven't been fired because Ben Shapiro knows that the Daily Wire is shrinking, and these two lunatics will keep it afloat for the rest of eternity. As long as these two lunatics stay at the Daily Wire isn't going to go anywhere. And Ben Shapiro is allowed to be unfiltered because guess what? He could just say, hey, if you don't like me, watch Matt Walsh, watch Michael Knowles. They're somewhat anti-Israel. Go watch them. That's literally what he's been doing for the last few years, and it's working because people are falling for it. The Daily Wire is never going to go anywhere until these fucking retarded, fake white Christians